Marvin Lee Aday, born September 27th of 1947 and passed January of 1922. Known by his stage name as Meatloaf, is an American musician, singer, songwriter, record producer, and actor. He is noted for his powerful, wide-ranging operatic voice and the theatrical live show. His Bat Out of Hell trilogy album has sold more than 50 million copies worldwide. Released in September of 1977, Bat Out of Hell still sells an estimated 200,000 copies annually and stayed on the charts for over 9 years, making it one of the best-selling albums in history. This arrangement features 3 hit songs written by Meatloaf's long-standing songwriter, Jim Steinman. It includes Paradise by the Dashboard Light, 2 Out of 3 Ain't Bad, and I'd Do Anything for Love, But I Won't Do That. Feel free to sing along to Meatloaf, the hits. At this point in the concert, we would like to thank Channel 990 and 991 and stgentv.com for filming our performances each week. Thank you so much. Let's give them a hand. And also, like last week when it was so hot and we were blessed to be able to have the pack room up there at St. Gen to use that. If it's raining or excessive heat, please look for the sign over here at the gates, and then we'll know if we're here or up there again. In this next tune, titled Instant Concert, composer Harold Walters uses 30 common melodies found on band concert programs from around the world and cleverly condenses them into an instant performance of 3 minutes and 10 seconds in one single tempo. Walters began his musical career at the age of 8 with cornet lessons and later learned tuba and string bass. From 1938 to 1943, he performed and served as chief arranger with the U.S. Navy Band in Washington, D.C. After his military discharge, Walters was with the CBS Radio in Washington for a year and then moved to New York City, where he served as conductor, arranger for Warner Brothers Theater, Fox New Reel Features, Randolph Hearst News, and various orchestras. Walters wrote more than 900 compositions and arrangements for band, and more than 600 for strings, woodwinds, brass, and percussion, solos, and ensembles. See if you can pick out these melodies if you recognize them in this piece, Instant Concert. Next, we have a medley that features Tchaikovsky's most famous and endearing melodies, including Piano Concert No. 1 in B minor, March from the Nutcracker, Love Theme from Romeo and Juliet, Marschlag, and 1812 Overture. While most of us are familiar with Tchaikovsky, few of us may know of John Moss, the arranger of this piece. For more than 2 decades, Moss was an exclusive arranger and composer for Hal Leonard, the world's largest music print publisher. Michael Sweeney, director of the band publications for Hal Leonard, once said, "John's passion and enthusiasm for music, particularly for band music, was inexhaustible. In all his writings, the effective explosions of the nuances, colors, and textures of any type of ensembles were unparalleled, regardless of the difficulty, level, style, or genres. John's writing always stood above the pack." And now for your listening pleasure, Tchaikovsky's greatest hits. Once again, it is time for our Leroy Anderson piece of the evening. Although a composer, Anderson had a little more exciting career than most. He joined the U.S. Army in 1942 and was assigned in Iceland with the U.S. Counterintelligence Corps and a translator and an interpreter. In 1945, he was reassigned to the Pentagon as chief of the Scandinavian Desk of Military Intelligence. His military duties did not prevent him, though, from composing, of course. And in 1945, he wrote The Syncopated Clock and the Promenade. In 1951, Anderson wrote his first hit, Blue Tango, which was the first instrumental recording to sell 1 million copies. He is also the composer of Sleigh Ride, which was not intended as a Christmas song. Among his many honors, including a Hollywood star, Anderson was initiated as an honorary member of the Gamma Ochrona chapter of Phi Mu Alpha Sinfona in Indiana State University in 1969. The piece we will hear tonight, Sandpaper Ballet, was written only 5 days before recording on June 25th of 1954. They originally composed for orchestra. It is 3 minutes and 10 seconds long. Of the piece, Anderson said, "Many years ago, while the soft shoe dance was still popular in vaudeville, sometimes dancers would sprinkle sand on the stage to create a crackling sound while performing. The drummers imitate this sound by attaching sandpaper on wooden blocks which they rub rhythmically together." This is the background for my piece, and it's the Sandpaper Ballet. take you to the Wild West by arranger Michael Story, taken from 3 classic Western themes from the big screen. This piece includes The Magnificent Seven, How the West Was Won, and Silverado. Please enjoy the Wild Western. Our Sousa March for you this evening, The Fairest of the Fair, was written by John Philip Sousa for the Boston Food Fair of 1908. Mr. Sousa and his band had a great drawing power at fairs and expositions and were much sought after. Atlanta newspaper carried rave reviews of the band's performance for the Cotton States and International Conventions of 1895, saying, "The band is a mascot." It has pulled many expositions out of financial ruins. It actually saved the Midwinter Fair of San Francisco. Recently at the St. Louis and Dallas expositions, Sousa's band proved an extraordinary musical attention and played before enormous audiences. During his 40 years as bandmaster, Sousa lifted the concert band to popular heights, which grossed an estimated $40 million. Jog your memory back to your childhood days at the fair while we're performing this piece for you, The Fairest of the Fair.
Municipal band. I'm going to give you a big hand. Give yourself a big hand. And we'd like to thank anyone else that supports the St. Genevieve Municipal Band. If you like tonight's performance, please tell a band member and bring a friend next week. Thank you so much for spending your evening with us. Thank you again.
Our first piece is American Folk Song Suite. It was arranged by Bob Loudon in 1985. It contains several tunes you may not know by name, but you could hum along with them instantly, such as When Johnny Comes Marching Home Again, Bury Me Not on the Lone Prairie, Turkey in the Straw, Shenandoah, and Camptown Races. Bob Loudon was an internationally known arranger and composer. He was one of the best-known modern-day arrangers for orchestra, bands, and jazz bands. His works not only encompasses professional orchestras, film, and recording, but he was a major contributor of musical arrangements for American college and high school performers. Mr. Loudon was the chief arranger for over 100 recordings of 101 strings. Enjoy American Folk Song Suite. The song named after the Edelweiss, a white flower found high in the Alps. In The Sound of Music, the song is sung by Captain Ludwig von Trapp and his family during a concert near the end of Act Two, as a defiant statement of Austrian patriotism in the face of pressure put upon him to join the Navy of Nazi Germany. This song turned out to be one of the most beloved songs in the musical, and also one of the best-loved songs Rodgers and Hammerstein wrote together. 9 months after the song, The Sound of Music opened in Broadway, Hammerstein had passed. Please enjoy this beautiful tune, Edelweiss. The next piece, Clarinet Polka, is a Polish folk song arranged by Henry W. Davis, featuring, of course, the clarinet. It is a popular musical composition from the end of the 19th century, which has been used as an opener in popular Polish radio shows since 1971. The piece has a simple and catchy melody, featuring a prominent extended 8-note arpeggio typically performed in B-flat major. According to Pulaski radio program, the music was created in Austria by a composer named A. Humpfat. Please enjoy Henry Davis's rendition of the Clarinet Polka. Our next selection, Star Wars Medley, music by John Williams. In 2005, the American Film Institute selected Williams' richly dramatic and highly popular score to the 1977 Star Wars as the greatest American film score of all time. He is the only composer to have 3 scores on the list. Williams received a Life Achievement Award in June of 2016, becoming the first composer to receive the award. We hope you enjoy Star Wars Medley. next, we have Clarinet Marmalade, arranged by John Edmondson. This 1918 Dixieland jazz piece was written by Larry Shields. It became popular in 1926 by Fletcher Henderson's recording. His version was an inspiration for several standards, such as Sugarfoot Stomp and King Porter Stomp. Clarinet Marmalade is one of the most covered jazz songs of the 20th century by artists such as Louis Armstrong, Benny Goodman and his orchestra, and Jelly Roll Morton and his Red Hot Peppers. Featuring once again, the Clarinets with Clarinet Marmalade.